As many of you know, we've been using iPads last year in our science classes, and this is kind of a big shift for us. So I want to share a quote. Mathematician and scientist John von Neumann was quoted as saying, "It would appear that we have reached the limits of what is possible to achieve with computer technology. Although one should be careful with such statements, as they tend to sound pretty silly in about 5 years." And that was in 1949. There's actually a whole lot of different quotes that are kind of interesting about technology predictions. And as I mentioned, this is our second year of utilizing iPads at Linus Calling. We learned a lot of things this past year and recognize that we'll need to continue to be planful and to be adaptable as possible with this initiative. As we've talked with your students these past few weeks, it's been amazing how thoughtful they are about it. In the last couple weeks in our Pride class on Fridays, they wanted to talk about this. And the kids have given us great questions. Last Thursday, I mentioned I had a chance to go over to Sheldon Middle School, and they had a great turnout as well at their school. And there was just fantastic questions. I appreciate the district office folks that have come tonight. The questions that parents brought to us on Thursday night, those questions have already been answered online. So tonight there's going to be a question and answer part of the insurance session, and I'll get to the session in just a minute, and also the boot camps. But if your question's not answered, we want to make sure there's some note cards over there. Can you just hold up that box right there? There's pencils and note cards, because we want to make sure we get your questions answered tonight. So I'm just going to, we have around the building, we have some signs up that have the sessions. It's a little bit hard to see here, but we're going to have 3 sessions tonight, and there's 4 topics. You'll be able to attend 3 out of the 4. One of the topics that Rob Singleton's going to lead is about insurance, the CAPI program, which is the optional insurance, and the mobile device management called AppTrack. There's going to be a session called iPad Boot Camps and Basics, and Ms. Sheldon and I are going to lead that in the David Helen. The insurance one's going to be right here in the comments. Classroom learning tools, that's what really this is about, is how our teachers are going to utilize this as a tool to enhance teaching and learning. One of those is going to be in room 108, Ms. Swenson, Ms. Hazelstein, Ms. Donnell. And classroom workflow management, Joby, iBooks, Author, iMovie. Ms. McFarland Price and Mr. Patching are going to do that in room 106. For translation, just so you know, there's also on the papers, in session 1, it's going to be translated. Just insurance is going to be translated in Spanish. iPad Boot Camp is going to be translated in Spanish for session 2. And then both teaching sessions are going to be translated in Spanish in session 3. So I just want to make you aware of that. Before I turn over to Dr. Prince to kind of launch us with some of the direction we're going in the district, I just want to pause for a second. I want to say thank you to, we've had parents that have helped us put on screen covers. My wife and I have been doing those in the evenings. It's been actually a good time just to visit while we have a competition who can get less bubbles in the screen covers that we're putting those on. I want to thank our other partners at Sheldon who have been working with us on this. And again, thank you tonight for coming to help us as we work through this. It's great to see such a fantastic turnout. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Prince to take us to the next thing. Oh, one thing before I pass out to you. One of the things and this is on our website, is internet resources for families. And there's a sheet over on the table as well. You can pick that up if you need support with internet help. So we want to make sure that's as well. Thanks, Dr. Prince.
Great, thank you, Ms. Priestley. Well, first of all, thank you so much for being here. What a fantastic turnout. I know that there's many things that you could be doing and calling with your families, and you chose the priority to join us tonight. I'm going to take my piece and keep it fairly short, but I really wanted to start by giving you an overview and kind of this broader picture of why iPads, where we're headed, and why middle school, for one thing. You're probably wondering that question as well. So you'll notice that this is a vision statement. About 6 or 7 years ago, the community was involved with developing the vision statement for Corvallis School District, and it really valid and very relevant for our students. I underline learners, engaged citizens, and leaders of the future, because that's really what we want for all our students, all our children. If you were to ask me what 3 things are most important to me as superintendent leading this school district, the first one is every child a graduate. The second one is that we close the opportunity gap for all students, so we level the playing field so that all students have the same opportunity. And the third one is that every single child shows growth. Those are 3 very, very important things to all of us. So why are we moving in this direction with one-to-one iPads and technology? First of all, it's not the gadget, it's not the iPad. It's a shift in how we deliver instruction to students and shift in how our students are learning and accessing materials to help them grow and be prepared as citizens. So really, this is a moral imperative. It's about everyone learning. It's about our teachers standing up with students as a facilitator and no longer feeling that the weight of all the content and material is on them to deliver to students. That everything they know is what the students end up knowing. Everything in the textbook is all that they're teaching. That's how we all learned, and it's got to shift. It's a change in how we're going to teach and learn. This is about changing leveling the playing field for our students. It's the opportunity gap. So many of our students are walking through the door of kindergarten already having access to many, many resources and technology. Other students have never had access to technology. We have high school students that now have an iPad in their hand. They have access to technology at home, at school, and they've never had access before. So it really is leveling the playing field as far as resources for our students in the teaching and learning realm. Not only that, but it's raising the bar, raising the high expectations and standards and ceiling of learning for all learners. So those students that need to extend their learning, our TAG students, it just raises the ceiling off for them as well. Why middle school? This is something I didn't really talk about in Sheldon, but when you think about who needs to be most engaged, who has the highest level of energy, who needs to get on track for graduation, it's that middle level. It's our middle schoolers. What better student to really engage and get started with this project? There's a framework of success that we've been working on in the district. As Mr. Beasley said, this is phase 2. The last year or 2, we've had iPads and access to iPads in departments. We had a full 3rd grade classroom use iPads last year, had great results, super engagement for our students. They also showed achievement, and we've got science departments, we've got DLL students, special ed students that have had access in phase 1. We've looked at pulling together a strategic planning team, deployment, financial planning, vision, mission, all of these areas. We've taken a lot of time and are still working on putting together the strategic plan. We're learning as we're going. But we're not alone in this. Oregon is not alone. In fact, across the nation, I've had many opportunities to speak with superintendents, teachers, students who have been in a one-to-one model for over 10 years. Very successful. As we start looking at our content in our instructional practices, it's about changing instruction, as I talked about, and initially it may look like just substitution. At the very bottom here you can see substitution, and that looks like using the iPad for a textbook. That would be very simply using a technology tool in place of a textbook. That's the lower level. As we gain experience with our students in our teaching, we hope to rise above into augmentation, modification, and redefining learning so that it becomes project-based learning and goes beyond just substitution. Our teachers will be on a different continuum. Some are ready to rock and roll with this, others are at the substitution stage, and that's okay. Student benefits, I'm not going to read all of these to you. Please know that this PowerPoint is on the website. I'll show you where to access it, so you can take time and read it and look through it. There's also some links that will take you to some other parts that I won't take time tonight with. But I've talked a little bit about student benefits, engagement, ownership, being part of their learning, making sure that they are raising the standard and expectations along with the teachers. We talked about phase 1. Phase 2 is where we are now. Every teacher has an iPad. Middle school students will be receiving their iPads. We're delaying that at this point in time, and I know that you'll hear a little bit about that. We are making sure that with the new operational system of iOS 7 with the iPad, that we're making sure it aligns with our global proxy. The global proxy is the protection of filter that when the iPad leaves our schools and our district, that the students are forced to go through our filter system as well. So once that's in place and has been well tested, then that's when we will roll the iPads out to the middle schoolers, and we'll let you know when that happens. At this point, grades 3 and 4 and at Garfield and Lincoln and 2 and 3 English-only classrooms have their iPads. All of Mountain View, K through 5, have iPads. The Avid students at high schools, both high schools have their iPads. They've successfully rolled out, and the students and teachers are using them. We will be measuring success as we go. Last year, phase 1, we did see some successes. We will be measuring, we'll be checking in with teachers and students and watching achievement. We will not be able to directly pinpoint the technology because, remember, it's about the teaching and learning. So it's about professional development and supporting our teachers and students as they access the tool.
I've got a couple questions. I'm sure the audience has one.
Yeah, you know what? We'll be able to take questions in a smaller group, so hang on to the questions and grab me or use the card, okay?
Why in the smaller groups and not here? Why not in here and not the smaller group? And why can't we do questions here?
We will. After I'm done, we'll have a chance for questions. So I talked about across the nation. Mooresville, North Carolina saw huge jumps in their graduation rates. They've been working with one-to-one for many years. They're also showing, which is a really nice outcome based on the technology that they weren't expecting, was really a high level of attendance and engagement rate that they measured. I talked a little bit about professional development and supporting our staff. That's a huge element of the importance when we roll this out for our teachers and also for parents. We'll be running parent classes for those of you who are interested in following along with the apps that your students are using in school. We've done a lot of deployment planning, and our instructional technology team has worked on the infrastructure, increasing the bandwidth, increasing wireless access throughout the schools in the district. A lot of considerations that have been going into this project. The funding, many of you have asked this question. A lot of the questions are answered online, but I do want to recognize that the funding for phase 2 was a shift of money. So for the textbook adoption money that we put aside every year to replace textbooks, we have moved that money over to purchase iPads. For the replacement cycle for computer labs and for teacher laptops, we have shifted that money over. For the infrastructure, for wireless and for the broadband, there are maintenance funds called construction excise taxes and facility use funds that have been used for the infrastructure. So it's really important to know that we did not use money that would replace teachers or class sizes for this project for phase 1. Engaging the community, this is step 1. But more importantly, as we are rolling these iPads out and the students are using, we will invite you back. More often than not, we'll have you come in and see what the kids are doing. We will have community walkthroughs so that you can visit the classrooms. We'll have demonstration nights where teachers and students will show you what learning is happening. That will be important for you as we venture down this path together. Other considerations, obviously, you're going to hear about the insurance options, security for the devices and your students, what's happening there, teaching our students digital citizenship.
Yes.
And the boot camps that they're having, and you'll get to hear about that from both principal
Text me back.
Beasley.
Text me back.
Also screen time, balance activity time. What's that going to look like in the
Just text me
classrooms? And also supporting teachers and sustainability. How's this going to work for years to come? If you look on our webpage, you'll find a lot of the answers to some of these questions. And really, if you go straight down and click on it, you will find these gorgeous girls. And under those gorgeous girls, you're going to find Wonder World. And on Wonder World, you're going to find the whys, the whats. You're going to find teaching and learning, all the presentations that I'm doing with parents, all the forms. You'll also find some research about what benefits this has for our students, and also all the frequently asked questions. So if you click on the frequently asked question mark, you're going to find up here all the Sheldon parent questions that they asked, specific to the middle school. And then you'll also see all of the different questions that have come up from parents, community members, teachers, staff. We've categorized those and have answers. You may not find your answer here, and if you need to, let's get the questions answered. We'll make sure we get back to you as a group, and also hang it on the website for others who have the same question. So at this point, I'm going to hand it back to Mr. Beasley. I know you want to get in smaller groups, and you have specific questions to ask. So let's do that. And then
Why do we have to break up? Why can't we ask in the large group?
it's going to
Those
be easier
two
to
of
get
those
into
people
smaller
asked
groups,
that.
And then we'll make sure that you get your
What
answers.
if we feel that we have something to say that is of interest to a broader group of parents? What if we feel isolated, as if we can't stand up against this or ask questions, and we have no choice? What if we feel that way?
I think respectfully, I think we're still going to be in somewhat larger groups. I mean, we only have three rotations tonight, so there's going to be a large group. I think trying to balance out, some people are coming tonight questioning about insurance, some people are questioning about digital citizenship. Our teachers want to show how they're planning to use the tools. So we want to be respectful to the fact that there's different needs, and that's why we chose to have three different stations. Again, the insurance will involve Q&A and mobile device management. Boot camps with me and the Ava Helen, which you can see at 130, there's going to be some Q&A. I think that I want to respectfully let our teachers kind of present and allow them to kind of show how they're planning to integrate the technology in classrooms. So what we've done is we've set up the insurance and mobile device management is going to meet right here. And then in the Ava Helen auditorium, just past where Mr. Harrison is over there, that's where the boot camps and that's going to be. And then if you walk towards the sixth grade house, there's two classrooms, 106 and 108. And we have signs up around so you can see what those are. So.
Well, I've been to several meetings like this, and every time we get broken up, no one feels satisfied. And there's some questions that the whole group should be able to hear that we shouldn't be broken up for. Maybe you can do both.
Okay.
Maybe a compromise would be good.
And I think that we do want to stick to our schedule. It is 6:51. Yeah. At the
Well,
end, you want to come back here?
when we come back at the end, a bunch of people will be gone. And I've been to meetings where this is intentionally planned. So I don't appreciate this option that you're not even giving us flexibility.
Well, we will be here, so if you do not
You
get
will.
your-
They
I will.
won't be here.
They will come back. If your answers are not, if you do not get your answers, come back.
If you feel that you have questions at the end and need to come, please come back, and we will make sure we're here for you. So, okay? You will hear in this one.
And I think that
Yeah, it's not fair.
we'll have.
You guys aren't being flexible. It's not fair.
That's okay. I think let's break them up, and I will stay here, and you're welcome to come.
So-
Yeah, that's
so
pointless.
Mr. Singleton's going to start. If you'd like to stay here for the first rotation, the first topic that's going to be in here is going to be focusing on the insurance and mobile device management. So if you all want to stay here for that and ask questions, then that would be the choice. We only can fit about 40 people in each of our classrooms, so that might work out well. That if you want to go and see what the teachers have to hear and they come back for rotation 2, that would be great. Ms. Sheldon's going to be the voiceover that says when we rotate. We're going to do about 20 minutes per rotation.
Okay, and I'm going to want to file a formal complaint against the inflexibility of you guys, because that's horrible. You have 3 parents here wanting to do that, and another one that wants to hear it. That's pointless because they're going to be gone. You know that. You just sent everybody off to their rooms. You just broke them out, but you just broke them out.
Some people want to choose to go here with the teachers.
Correct, but you didn't give us the option. You just shut it down. I already know what this is about. I've been to so many meetings like this. You guys have it broken out so that a bunch of people can't get influenced. I've already been through this. And I know that's part of your guys' training because I already know about that too. And I just think it's absolutely horrible that you did not take any words from the parents that are asking you to keep this open.
I just feel like it would be disrespectful to my teachers who planned to
What
show
about
their
the parents?
classrooms. I think
You,
that
you have plenty of time. You could have taken 5 minutes. You
Where's
could have
the
been
largest group of
flexible
people
for
gonna
5 minutes.
What if we don't want to talk about it?
This is
This is insurance and
Yeah.
we're talking.
do you want to talk about boot camps and digital?
No, please don't film me. I'm with you on this. So I think, if in one word, there's a benefit slide without a benefit. Mine is still Harding, by the way. I teach the largest engineering class in Oregon. Very sensitive to pedagogical considerations. The fact that there's a benefit slide without an alternative, the potential disadvantages, this is what we're worried about. That's alarm bells for me. The fact that a particular publicly traded company has been selected, that's a huge concern for me.
what is?
Yes,
I don't care.
I'm a parent of 3. I've got a 6th grader and 8th grader here. I'm not worried about me. We've got a lot of parent involvement. I'm worried about single moms who now have electronic devices with YouTube and the internet that their kids are saying they're working on their homework and they're not playing, they're not thinking, they're not drawing, they're not writing. I've personally witnessed the decay of drawing skills, handwriting skills, communication skills during my tenure being as a professor at Oregon State. I'm severely alarmed. And while the best teachers are going to use this as a tool, let's face it, there's always going to be an easy road. And I just feel as though it's a done deal, and really we have no say. And again, my kids are going to be fine, but well, I just don't want to talk about insurance. I mean, I'm happy to share, but the insurance is that's an after the fact deal. So yeah, I think. Thank you. Thanks for letting me.
It's all crap.
How long did it